Welcome to episode 25 of Digitized Desperadoes. Today, we will be discussing Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Curious to see what you guys' opinions were on this.
Give me your opinion, Max.
I liked it, but I had some issues with it. But at the same time, it was pretty good. But I can see there being flaws with it.
I liked it.
I like this. Okay, I'm gonna say I like this on the same level that I enjoy shows like My Hero Academia and stuff. I don't like it necessarily proportionately to a critical rating of it. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. To give my opinions, I'm gonna preface this with a story, and I've been thinking of this a lot since I watched it. So there's this anonymous film reviewer who I'll not mention because I'm a big fan of his work.
Okay.
And he's come under criticism recently for going into movies wanting to hate them. There's this perception that you can go into like a superhero movie and be like, I hate superhero movies, I'm gonna hate this movie, and then that kind of colors your view.
Mm-hmm.
Because you expect something bad. You expect plot holes.
So you're just going to be looking for everything to hate about it.
So when I went into Mob Psycho 100, I wanted to hate.
Yeah?
I was being very critical the first couple of episodes. I was like, this is going in a direction I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this show.
Yay! I'm glad to hear that you turned out well.
Yeah.
I was very pleasantly surprised by this show. There's still problems. I think
it's not
there's
the best thing I've ever seen. It's definitely not perfect.
There's a lot of issues in the second half, but at the very end of the show, I'm kind of sad to see it go.
But there's a season 2.
Well, lucky for you, there's a season 2 that just recently
is currently airing. Yes.
Yeah. My experience was similar, except I was fine with it. Like I didn't want to go in hating it. I liked it at first. Then there was a part in the middle where I was like, and then the end was just like the end's really good. The end of the show is really good. I think
there's an episode that we'll get to that the whole episode.
There's a chance it's the one I'm thinking of too.
There's the whole episode. I was just grumbling. I was just.
Okay.
I don't think I ever got to that point.
A different episode where.
But just that episode was when it was bad. After that episode, I immediately got in a better mood, and I took like a day. I slept on it.
Yeah.
And the next episode, I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
All right,
but anyway,
so let us begin.
So
we start with some apocalyptic shit. And I'm just okay, is this we start at the beginning, starting at the end sort of thing?
You know what I wrote in my notes for that part? This is just an animator flex. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of that in this show.
The intro and the opening song animation is just entirely just, look at us, we're animators. We have free time now.
Show of just the animation team cracking their knuckles and just going in.
I gotta say, the animation on this show is beautiful, and it's done really well. Depending, the animation fits whatever's going on in the show really well. Either fight scenes or comedic.
See, if you take frames from the show, it looks horrible. And because
if you do any kind of thing where there's smearing animation, it's gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's about seeing it in motion.
The facial expressions are all really ugly, always.
But it as you in my opinion, I think this is it's kind of intentional. I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally intentional.
It's the manga's one's art style.
You have to understand, when One Punch Man got popular, they hired a different manga artist to redraw it.
Yeah, but I guess the point of Mob Psycho is being more faithful to that original, not great art style.
Well, this art style fits the show, because this show is not trying to be a serious shonen anime like My Hero Academia or some shit like that. It's goofy and weird and awkward.
It's kind of a parody, but not of shonen anime. It's a parody of. It's a parody of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's get into the characters.
I was going to say get on the premise of it.
Okay, premise. Well, we can just start with the characters and the premise. So premise is Mob, which, to explain, Mob is his nickname because he fits in with the mob, with the crowd.
Oh, I actually never caught that.
Does not stand out.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
They don't explain it.
Yeah,
His
his
name
real
is
name is
Shigeo.
Shigeo Kageyama.
Yes.
Which very few people use that name.
Yeah.
There's only
It's
like a
just
few
his brother.
characters who call him Shigeo.
Oh yeah, I would preface
He's
this
only
review.
never really called Mob by Reagan.
Yeah, but Reagan talks a lot.
Look how we've got 3 different ways of pronouncing this guy's name because I called him Reagan or Regan.
Ronald. It's Ronald.
So I watched this dub, by the way,
Reagan.
and I'm gonna preface this. Good dub. It's good.
I'm not surprised.
It's good. It's like really good. Like
I'm
all
not
the characters
surprised.
are well cast, and
They
all
would
the
not skip
performances are
out.
really good.
They would not skimp out on the same anime from the guy who did One Punch Man.
Yeah. Also, Reagan's voice actor is amazing in this show.
You need that because
There's
Reagan is a lovable character.
On YouTube,
Yes.
I got
Reagan is such a goofball. I love him.
I don't know why,
He's awesome.
but just completely unrelated to anything I've actually searched on YouTube, I got a recommendation for a YouTube video called Reagan dubs superfluous noises or something like that, because he just makes these weird grunts and like weird noises, but they're perfectly in character for whatever scene he's doing. It's really funny.
So basically, Mob is this character with extreme psychic powers. Like he's the most powerful psychic we see in the anime. But they are attached to his emotions. So
he's a very
bottles up his emotions.
closeted, like.
Don't say closeted.
Well, okay, you get what I mean, though. He's very. He keeps it all bottled up on the inside.
Yes.
And because of this, he goes to he went to Reagan and he was like, "Hey, I'm a psychic. I'm having trouble. Help me out. You know how this goes."
Reagan,
and it turns out Reagan is
a bullshitter.
But also, he's a good fake because he learns other skills that help him.
Yeah,
no, Reagan's entire his ability is just being a really good talker and liar.
He's like level 100 bullshitter, and it comes into play later
100.
Reagan is both an extreme parody of con artists and also the most wholesome and useful character in the show.
He somehow is like scamming his way to live.
But he's also a genuinely good person.
But he gives Mob, like his apprentice, he gives him real life lessons and like stuff that actually means shit. Like he tells him like, real life lessons in a way.
Well, yeah,
and it's like he genuinely cares about Mob.
He's also mostly a parent figure because his parents don't care about his psychic powers.
Yeah. He's basically just his dad.
It's like if you had sorry.
It's his priest or something.
It's like if he's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi to Luke Skywalker if Obi-Wan Kenobi had absolutely no fucking clue what he was doing.
And just was good at faking it.
And also nice and pleasant. I mean, Obi-Wan's nice and pleasant.
That's what I was saying. Are you saying shit about... Are you talking about my shit about my man, Ben?
Hello there.
Anyways.
Basically, when
at the beginning,
Mob starts to feel really powerful emotions, he explodes. And it has
he doesn't explode.
Of major destruction.
No,
he loses all control of his power, and he just goes apeshit. It's called
an explosion.
Okay. Oh, yeah. But he doesn't physically explode.
He has an emotional explosion where he gets basically in this canon, in this universe, psychic powers and the strength of them is tied to your emotions. Usually a specific one, but with Mob, it's all of his emotions. We see other characters who have different emotions that are tied to their powers, but we'll not get to that. So the first couple of episodes are really kind of not really that serious. It's kind of setting up characters and plots, but
just that hey, ghosts exist, and Reagan uses Mob to get out of situations where he'd otherwise be kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And he pretends it's because it's beneath him.
He's like, oh, I can't even see these ghosts. I'm too high powerful. They're like
so
nothing
weak,
to me.
I can't even see them.
And then Shigeo's just like, this thing's huge.
But actually, by the end, we realize that Mob understands that Reagan is I think he says Reagan is a spiritual psychist. Yeah,
he calls him a
which
spiritual.
is kind of true.
He's not psychic. He has spirit powers, not psychic powers.
Yeah,
which is kind of true. He's good at manipulating people.
Yeah.
So anyway, we can kind of skip the first couple of episodes. There's nothing too important. Then we get to the clubs, which there's a great bait and switch in the second episode.
Yeah.
So, I love yep. It's like, okay, well, obviously Reagan's gonna Mom's gonna join this telepathy club.
Yeah, there's a whole plot where there's a telepathy club and they need one more member to stay as a club, and the whole episode is them trying to get Mob on their club because, of course, he would make sense. He's a psychic.
And also not a part of a club because he's a loser.
And they are basically like, okay, Mob, we need you in our club or else this athletic self-improvement club is going to take over our room because the student council doesn't want a club with only 4 people that does nothing.
This is set up for the student council later.
Yeah. So by the end of the episode, Mob fucking chooses the self-improvement
body improvement club.
Because Mob doesn't care about his psychic powers. He just wants to be a better person for the girl he likes.
He wants to get jacked.
Well, it also plays into the actual message. I was surprised that the show even had one. Basically, like, Mob's like, yeah, I'm a psychic, but I don't want my personality to just be based around the fact that I have psychic powers. I want to be a person because I'm a human being that has interests and wants to improve himself.
We actually
he doesn't want his psychic powers to he doesn't want to rely just on his psychic powers. He wants to be able to rely on himself.
We get this really lovely speech from Reagan later on that he gave Mob when they met, I believe, where Reagan is like, explains all that. He's like, psychic powers is just another talent you have. You're just really just a normal person. That really grounds Mob. He remembers that a lot. Every time he's interacting with another person, be it a psychic or just, weird person, he's like, we're all just people, which is the show gets really, really touching and like philosophical. It's not expected at all.
There's another thing where I think they repeat this multiple times. Everybody is the main protagonist in their own story or something like that.
Yeah, that starts to come into play when terror is introduced.
Mm-hmm.
But also, just like the other lesson, like, your psychic powers is like a knife. You don't point knives at other people.
Right.
So that's Mob's reasoning for not using it to fight others.
Or not using it to fight others and not using it to just get whatever the hell he wants.
Whatever he wants, yeah.
So then they have... Then you have the cult thing where you get Dimple.
Where Dimple is introduced.
Of course, there's a cult plot.
The cult is called LOL.
It is. And then they have You Laugh, You Lose challenge.
So good.
You're right.
I believe they say that.
Except because he was like, oh yeah, I want some milk right now. It's so great.
Yes.
Mom just wanted to drink some milk.
Yeah, basically they drank milk and whoever spat out their milk first lost the challenge.
And Mob always won.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to show emotion. And,
also Dimple, in his disguise, like as the priest leader, he looks like the puppet from FNAF.
Yeah.
No comment.
You're right.
I know.
We don't talk about that cursed game.
Can we just say that Dimple is horrible?
Okay, he was horrible at first. I hated him at first, but in the dub saved it, I think, because he has the same fucking voice actor as the cat from fucking Ghost Stories, and it makes his character a lot better. I don't know. I can see, like...
I think Dimple's fine.
I can see him being totally hateable with any other voice, but, like, his voice is really good to listen to. I don't know.
I think he only becomes an entertaining character near the end when he possesses a random person's body.
Also, yeah,
Yes.
that is very good at the end.
Then he's great, but before that.
But then you get, I think, I believe this is our first explosion in the Dimple episode.
Yes, you're right.
Where you get
he has
100% rage.
I think I wrote down all the explosions.
I was
No,
actually
wait,
surprised when I saw
yeah.
this because I was not I thought, the whole show is going to be building up to one, but no, it happens episode 3, and they show you what it's like, which I'm kind of glad about because I didn't want
curb
a whole
stomp
show about that.
Basically, the running gag with Dimple is that Dimple was once very strong, but the psychics just keep on beating him up.
Yeah.
And he just gets wimpier and wimpier. Yeah. And then it's like the counter goes down, but then like Mob wakes up the next day and Dimple is trying to hang out with him, and then it immediately goes up to 20%.
Yes. He just sees Dimple and gets angry. Okay, so then we have the Blondie arc because I can't remember his name.
Teruki. And the only reason I can see that is because I have the page open with all the characters and pictures.
Cool.
Yeah, blonde guy, purple shirt.
Our first other psychic aside from Mob.
So,
Yes.
well,
First known psychic.
Yeah.
I mean Dimple.
Oh yeah, Dimple. Well, he's a ghost, so he has psychic powers, but I don't think that makes him a psychic.
I think he is a
wants
psychic.
to possess Mob because he's a psychic.
Yeah, no, he wants to possess Mob because he wants to become a god.
Yes, but
he was also okay. Was then the guy he possessed, the priest guy, was he a psychic?
I don't know. I don't know how the physics of this show work. Damn it.
I assumed Dimple was a psychic, but whatever.
I assumed that if you are a ghost and you have enough power, you are able to do the same things that psychics can do, which it doesn't really matter. The difference.
I forgot to mention something. One of Reagan's things is that he has other abilities to compensate for him not being a real psychic.
Oh yeah, I have some notes that we skipped episodes in. They're not real abilities.
He learns how to give good massages.
He's just an expert masseuse.
Yeah, so that's
he knows how to do Photoshop.
Yeah, episode 4, it's just Photoshop.
Yeah, he photoshops a ghost out of a photo.
Which later
and then he screwed it up or something.
Martial arts.
And then he
has table salt on him at all
there
times.
There was somebody he gets somebody's laptop and it has a fucking porn curse. It's just he just runs an antivirus check.
Yeah, I love Reagan. Reagan isn't really that important in the beginning, but he's just so entertaining.
He's fun to watch.
After Mob destroys Dimple's religion, the religion now becomes about Mob.
Yes, the cycle
detail in the next episode.
Oh yeah, I want to mention
just a nice bit of continuity.
I want to mention that his Reagan's alternate moves have names, and the fucking Photoshop one is a graphic exorcism.
I love it.
He used Photoshop exorcism.
This show, because right next to that note, this is episode 4. This show has its own WickDonald's, and it's fucking Mopdonald's.
Yeah, that's right.
That's typical. So episode 4 introduces 2 of the greatest characters, one of which is Josuke from part 4.
I literally have a thing that just says Josuke Doppelganger.
First of all, he literally has the pompadour. He wears the same color shirt, and he has a punch rush.
Yeah, he literally says Dora.
Yeah.
He's just a complete part 4 reference.
And the other great character, who's my favorite, is Teru. I love Teru.
Yeah, Teru's really good.
Teru's good. Also, Ritsu is given more character around this point.
Who is that?
Bob's little brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, Ritsu.
I don't remember their names, though. It's been a week or 2 for me.
I just have the character page up, so I can cheat.
Yeah.
Ritsu, yeah, but we get more of him later. Ritsu has an inferiority complex because he's a year younger than Mob, but also much taller.
Well, he also doesn't have
powers.
Yeah, power, where he doesn't have the same level
of powers. But he grew up just assuming they were normal because of Mob.
And then episode 5 is literally Teru and Mob just duking it out.
They have a fight scene. Episode. Yeah.
It's very, very brutal, very emotional. Mob keeps up his theme of not using his powers on anyone.
Yeah, he doesn't want to use his powers on him, and he's like, "Why are you doing this? Like, why would you want to hurt somebody just to get status? Isn't being a psychic enough? Don't you want to just be normal or something like that?" And he talks with Teru for like a while, and then eventually he passes out. And
when he passes out, well, actually, he explodes.
Yeah.
He gets 100% sadness, which is awe. But then he passes out and uses his special power, which is question mark %.
Oh yeah.
Which makes him a Lovecraftian horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't forget, there's the part where Teru exercises Dimple, and then Mob has an emotional flashback of everything he ever did with Dimple, and it's just Dimple being an asshole.
You killed Dimple, you sick fuck. That's my note for that.
But then it's like, no, Dimple did say a few nice things to me, and then he like gets into action. Also, Teru getting a very bad haircut.
Oh yeah, no, there's
top of Teru's head 0%.
Yeah. It's done in like the progress towards Mob's explosion font, but it says top of Teru's head 0% as he gets his head shaved. And from the rest of the fucking show
Teru turning his tie into a sword.
Oh yeah, cool. But that was good.
I gotta mention on this because the rest of the show on, Teru wears like a wig or something.
The worst wig imaginable.
And it's extremely tall. And no one mentions
Nobody
mentions. I think it's mentioned like once when it first appears, but never again. And like, it's just always there, and it starts to look normal for some reason.
You just get used to that being his hair.
So in the discussion that Teru and Mob have while they're fighting, while Teru is fighting Mob, it gets really philosophical and serious, like onto the concept of like interpersonal relationships and like power struggles within interpersonal relationships. It reminded me a lot of some serious like philosophical theory I've read. There's this one that I've studied a little bit by this man named Hegel, who had this theory of power struggles between people, that in order for us to have a concept of self, we have to fight with another self. And it reminded me a lot of that, of how Teru has to fight people who he thinks are equal to him in order to feel like a person.
Mm-hmm.
And Mob doesn't need that kind of validation to feel like a person, because Mob understands you don't need to be better than someone to be a person. It's really sad, especially at the end when Mob remembers and thinks that he seriously injured Ritsu.
And that's what activates
younger.
%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that he's very, very sad because he's like, oh, I messed things up again. But Teru learns his lesson from that. Teru gains humility from being thrown up in the sky.
I mean, to be fair,
the school progress is like erased.
Yeah, in the progress of the fight, the school is destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Except it didn't matter because it was Teru's school or some shit, I think is what somebody said.
And then it's like, I forget who comments on it, but it's just like, yeah, there's something inside Mob that's very sinister, whatever the heck is your...
I think it's Ritsu.
%.
Yeah.
I think it's Ritsu because
there's something very bad in there that's like not Mob.
Well, what happens is that Mob mentions the past incident to Ritsu, and Ritsu is like, you didn't beat me up, the guys did, but you passed out and you had your question mark mode.
Yeah.
So everything actually turns out all right from that, because Mob finds out that he didn't hurt Ritsu, and
he's happy with it.
Mm-hmm. And Teru's fine.
Teru's fine, and also he learned his lesson. Yeah. He's a good guy now, and I love
Teru is a good person.
And
I love him for the rest of the show.
Yeah, this sets up the second half of the show where
it's mostly about Ritsu.
Yeah, it's mostly about Ritsu, where he's on the student council, and he's also learning that he has powers.
Okay, I gotta say, the next couple of episodes are so dark.
Yeah.
Like insanely dark.
They're really dark, but this is where I was kind of like bored for a little bit. Only I think
love
because
this part.
I think only because I watched these 2 episodes right after I watched episode 5. Episode 5.
You should take a
So
break.
it was like I was just like there's like a climax moment, in that area, and I kept going, and it was just like I'm drained, Yeah, but I still think they're really well
again
written.
to get into the next arc, basically.
So this next arc is about how the next couple of episodes are about how Ritsu and the student council president have these awful, they have really awful mental issues that lead to them sort of slowly using their power to torture a lot of the people in their school.
Not like any psychic powers. They're using their position.
The students.
Yeah, their position.
Yeah.
Their
position and their anger for their own reasons.
And so
being his not having powers, and student council president for basically being kind of similar reasons, because he's inferior to his older brother.
No, we see his home life, and it's horrible.
Yeah, he his room is
straight up.
His parents are always giving him a hard time. Yeah,
I mean, he literally is just depressed, and it's so sad to watch.
Yeah, and he just turns that anger on the students.
Yeah, and so they frame Josuke on stuff, and then they start framing other people just so that they can get rid of unwanted students, so that their status can be, so they can just reach higher status, essentially.
I was so uncomfortable and angry during this part, and that shows how powerful it is, because I felt like they were really saying something about Japanese school life and the expectations of the of the children.
Yeah, or it's just
not really real.
This guy,
this
Josuke guy,
is 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Onigawara is his name. He gets the worst part of it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't like him, but he says a perfect attendance record.
He's also really nice.
Yeah, he's just not. He's just a delinquent, but he's a good student. Yeah. And so they use the delinquent
hiding out with the Body Improvement Club's room because he just doesn't want to be seen because he's been pretty much outcast.
Yeah.
But then it gets even worse when Ritsu finds out he has powers that are only activated when he's feeling guilty and awful.
Mm-hmm.
And Dimple helps because Dimple's horrible.
Yeah, Dimple's still an asshole at this point, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll help you out," and then Ritsu starts getting power mad.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I have a note.
Also, Mob is the shadow leader of the school, and he's white tea poison.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget.
I didn't really care about that.
Yeah, well, basically he beat up the other delinquents.
He
beat up Teru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to mention on Teru is I think he's the same voice actor as English Speedwagon, but the voice only comes through occasionally, and it's kind of funny when it does.
How do you know what English Speedwagon sounds like?
I watched English dub JoJo part 1 and 2.
You watched the dub? That was recent.
No, part 1 and 2 was 2012 or 2013 or something. I don't know.
No, it was
part 3. Part 3 was really recent.
Part 3 and 4.
Yeah.
4 is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, part 2, 1 and 2. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I watched it years ago.
Enough of this. Let's get back on track.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
I'll Google it right now.
Wait. Okay, Ritsu is. Ritsu
you guys
discovers his powers, and then he also joins the Awakening Lab.
Yeah, it's this little lab of other kids that have.
Well, it's a lab of
minor
psychics, but really
weak psychics. Yeah.
One guy who can kind of set things on fire. Someone who's sort of good at clairvoyance. I think a 60% correctness rating.
That lab was kind of when it started to get lame for me. I'm like, that lab's weird and doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But later it becomes a little important.
Not really.
Guess, yeah.
But anyway, so Ritsu has his power trip, and it continues until Ritsu makes a bunch of people angry. I think Ritsu kind of poses as Mob for a bit.
Just to answer the question earlier, the English
at the
JoJo
lab.
dub was 2016.
That's what I thought.
That's when I watched it.
But yeah, no.
You said
V2, like, at the
2013.
lab, they get
No,
him and
I was
like,
wrong on that.
Wait,
Sorry.
V2 goes to the lab, and the guys are like, "Oh yeah, you're Shigeo," and he's like, "Sure, yeah, I'm Shigeo."
Anyway, so basically Ritsu's powers aren't that great. He's only really good when Dimple is
Empowering
possessing him. So he gets into a really big fight with a bunch of people, and Mob shows up, and Mob has the purest reaction.
Yeah.
He runs up to Ritsu and he's like, "You finally got powers!
Yeah.
I'm so happy
He's
for
just so
you."
happy for him.
It takes
And I
him.
was like,
It
such a
takes
good boy.
Ritsu just completely out of it.
Oh man, Mob is a great character
Yeah.
too.
He's just a good boy.
But Ritsu's still horrible.
At this point,
For-
At this
yeah.
point,
and
at this
and
point,
this
Ritsu
and
is
this
so
leads
bad.
to
I have a
episode
note that
8.
Ritsu became an edgelord at one point.
Yeah.
Episode 8, it killed my interest 100%.
Is that where they introduced the idea of the?
The
Claw.
adults.
Yeah, I have a thing that just says
changes.
claw info dump.
Yeah, no, 8 is just the big here. Everything is different now.
And
We
that's
have antagonists.
that's where I was really worried because I was like, this show didn't need an antagonist.
Yeah,
However, I will say they save it.
they do save it,
They
but not
completely
in
save
this
it.
episode.
Not in this episode
is
at all. This episode makes it sound like there's going to be like an ongoing shit. Like, oh, it's going to take forever to kill this thing. It's never going to happen. You got to build up an entire team before you can do that. Thankfully, that doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, they
Like
set up
Mob
this.
I forget Mob explodes. I forget like what the emotion was.
I don't think they
But it's
say
like-
because I wrote rage. I assume.
I think it was rage because
'Cause it's
they
like-
mentioned it at one point.
But it's like another level. He's just going off fighting the hoodie guy.
The fight is very visually impressive, but it's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's very like, oh, this is the big bad that we gotta beat up. Ugh, I hated this episode.
I liked it. 'Cause
I don't
it's
really
just
have that many notes on
it.
shit.
There's absolutely no plot development. They completely ditched the psychological thing that Ritsu was going through, and they're just like, he's kidnapped now because bad guy. It's very superhero-y. Like we need a motive, even though
There was
there
already
no
one.
reason.
There was already a plot going on, but where the show goes from here, they save it.
It gets a lot better from here on out. I'm just saying the way this episode was going, I was really angry.
Oh yeah, no. This is the part where I was like, what are you doing, show? But moving
And then
on.
we meet Claw.
But then Mob goes to eventually he goes to the Claw place, and
With teaming up with Teru.
it starts
Yeah,
getting
that's
really
good.
fun because they introduce this band of villains that are great, but also incompetent.
Yeah. But wait, I want to mention
I think it's just they seem incompetent because Mob is so powerful.
I want to mention
because
Mob
Teru
is
beats
so
them up
OP,
too.
it makes them seem like losers.
before we get into Claw completely. I think my problem was when they introduced Claw, Teru's like, no, we can't do anything about this. And the moment it starts getting good again is when Teru just does this complete 180 on his stance. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll join you. And
and then Teru Mob just team up.
Yeah.
Because Teru's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go into Claw, and while they are infiltrating Claw, Ritsu and his gang is breaking out
Have
of
been
it.
kidnapped. Yeah.
He slowly realizes that his powers are closer to Mob's than it is the other kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there's a great scene when the kids are trying to break out, and they there's a bunch of guards and they were playing card game or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They just sneak around and then totally obvious.
Well, no. Then their captain is like, ignore him. You guys don't have psychic powers.
And it's
You're
like,
pathetic."
Yeah,
it doesn't matter because when Claw eventually wins, we'll get promoted too.
Yeah, they don't
And
care.
They're just assured in their victory. So it's like, yeah, we'll win. We'll be fine.
So with the band of villains, you have the third child from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You have Fit Girl. You have Doll Girl.
You have Katana Businessman.
Spirit Man. Katana Man.
There's the really ugly, nasty Torture Man.
Why don't I remember him? What?
The one who, like, interrogates the,
Is that the same
kids
person as the
in
Dolls
prison.
guy? I don't know.
Like, the one who takes one of the twins back and stabs them.
Oh, yeah.
I seriously don't
fucking ugly.
remember.
No, he doesn't actually stab them. He pretends that he
No,
does.
he-
Pretends
the
to, but
illusion
you would
guy.
think, oh
Yeah,
no,
he's the illusion
character
guy.
deaths are happening now, what?
Yeah.
He's illusion.
Yeah, illusion guy.
I don't remember what he looks like.
I'm about to post a picture. You'll see.
I don't think I care, but go ahead.
Anyways.
But anyway, there's also a kid who, whatever. Anyway.
Why don't I remember that face? Jesus Christ. He just posted a picture of him.
He looks like
It's
the
horrifying.
Terraform. He looks like the Terraform.
Oh, don't
Yeah, he is.
Terraform Mars.
That's what he reminded me of.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
This show, side note, this show just has a lot of cuts to like characters' faces drawn in a completely different art style, and it's really good.
Anyway, so Mob takes care of most of them really easily, but eventually they're all captured.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm
Teru,
glossing
like,
over stuff,
burns
but
a man to a crisp.
he does. Teru kills a man.
It's fine. He's
It's
learning.
actually really brutal.
He's literally
He-
blackened, like, charred.
I think he walks away from it.
No, one of the guy's powers, I'm going to explain it because it's great. One of the guy's powers is that he makes fire.
He's the man on fire.
whatever. But Teru makes a shield around him, which heats him from the outside. It boils him. But then, to win, Teru puts a barrier around Fire Guy to boil him from the inside.
Yeah.
So he, it's.
I
gruesome.
think he lived too. I think he was like a charcoaled. Yeah, he was like a charcoaled stick figure at that point, and he like walks away. Yeah.
No one dies.
No one dies, but
Except
definitively.
Also, there's a scene where when Dimple gets locked in the spirit guy's urn, he just screams "Help me" in plain English in the sub.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, it's so weird where it's just in normal English just says "Help me."
Dimple gets put in an urn to do a battle royale, and whatever
he does.
Yeah, he's like, whatever spirit comes out of this urn will be the most powerful, and I'm gonna use it to kill Mob or whatever.
And eventually, it just ends up being Dimple.
Yeah, Dimple fucking lives. Because of course he does.
So eventually,
Reagan takes a taxi over.
So
Because
Reagan
he's been trying to call Mob. Once
Reagan
takes
takes.
Oh my god, I love
the
this part.
goons that he
So
is the
fucking
boss
much.
of Claw.
He uses his charisma and vague wording to imply that he, not intentionally, he does this accidentally, that he is the boss.
But then he realizes what he's doing and he just kind of rolls with it.
It's really funny because
yet he still becomes the winner of the day.
Because like the fucking Claw members have not actually seen what their boss looks like because they're all mysterious and shit. And that was the downfall of their organization, essentially.
And then even better, when they find out that he's not the boss, Reagan is like, why were you doing this? You were like a bystander effect committing crimes. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, thank you. Like, they just love him. He's just a really good talker, and that's his ultimate skill.
He wins. It's amazing.
But even better is he rescues Mob from being kidnapped, and Mob is so close to using his powers, and Reagan's
he almost goes 100% on murderous intent.
But then he goes 100% on love for Reagan.
Yes.
And gives his powers to Reagan.
Oh yeah. And Reagan can actually see the monsters.
Reagan gets a katana to the back and would have died.
It's a plastic katana.
Yeah. But it was a plastic katana that was infused with souls.
No-selling everything.
So Reagan starts doing his BS stuff, but it actually works because he has psychic powers now.
Yeah, he's at 1,000%. Because
it goes to 1,000%.
So he's the most powerful psychic ever. for a temporary
Reagan
period
is
of
God
time.
or could kill a god, and I don't care which one it is.
He's the best.
So
Yeah, because like Reagan just tells him, "Hey, run away from this. Don't fight." And
Wait,
so
I just have
Mob, by giving Reagan his powers, Mob is essentially running away.
I just have a fucking note here that just says Reagan is 1000% woke, and I don't remember writing it, but it's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, Psycho Mantis, who's the other powerful psychic, starts summoning black holes to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And Reagan just smacks them away.
No, the kid has to stop him.
Oh yeah, show.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that kid. That's probably season 2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they set it up at the end.
Yeah.
The end of the show is very, hey, see you next time, and by that we mean 3 years from now.
So that's kind of just the end.
Yeah.
It kind of just ends.
It's just the Claw division is Claw's 7th division is defeated. Teru forms a group with the other Esper kids. Mob and Ritsu are good brothers again. Reagan can see Dimple, and that's the only leftover effect from getting boosted to 1000.
Yeah.
He can just see spirits now. And then the show and his dad loom menacingly on the horizon. And then also Mob and Reagan fight a giant Tsuchinoko.
Yeah. There's like a little extra after credits that's just a I cannot pronounce that.
Tsuchinoko.
Hunt. Yes. It's just that.
Hey, you needed the Tsuchinoko.
If there wasn't already a Metal Gear reference, this one just, I mean...
There you go.
You did it this time, Connor.
Yeah, I never caught one, but maybe
me
someday.
neither. It's stupid how you actually get that in the game. But yeah, that was Mob Psycho. Do we have any other thoughts?
I'm really impressed by how psychological and social it gets.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing I have with episode 8 is a lot like the problem I have with One Punch Man, where it just becomes a battle shonen briefly.
Yeah.
Though with One Punch Man, it's more consistent. With Mob Psycho, one episode of generic cliche fighting is fine.
Yeah,
I can excuse it.
Snap out of it.
They get out of it right away. The next episode is already back to goofy, one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Mob
it's very
just
funny.
Curb stomps everyone he fights because
the show is hilarious. It has a very good pacing. It's emotional when it needs to be. It's serious when it needs to be, but it's also very funny. I love the animation, the voice acting. I had no problem with. How do you guys feel about the opening and ending?
The opening is really good. I didn't see
I like it. I never really actually listened to the ending.
The ending wasn't at the end of most episodes, I think.
It wasn't.
Yeah, so I don't remember it, but I really did like the opening.
The opening, I wanted to hate it, but it's a jam.
It is really good. It's literally just counting to 100, and it's hard to count along if you tried to count along because they speak in Japanese.
Skip numbers.
Do they? I can't.
They do.
Okay, there's some moments where I'm I swear they missed numbers, but they didn't. But then I think they skipped numbers from 40 to 80 or something like that. I don't know.
I think it just gets lost in the lyrics of the song.
Well, it's
lose.
They probably cut it.
Yeah, I wonder if the full one is all. It probably is.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Also, the opening animation is beautiful. I think it's just a lot of shit going on. I love it.
Animators flexing.
It's good.
On a full 100% flex.
No, 99%. You're right.
Progress towards artist explosion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a lot of passion was put into this anime, a lot more than One Punch Man. I think One Punch Man is cheaper made than this. There's just a lot of charm to it compared to other popular shows I've watched. There's a lot of very, very specific quirks. You can't get what the show offers anywhere else.
I can't think of any other show like it.
Yeah,
really.
There's nothing else like this.
I like comparing it to Psyche Kusuo because they're both about psychics that don't care about being psychics, really. But Psyche is more a quick situational gag comedy, whereas this has a story,
Yeah, this is... Yeah.
It's about
this has something to say.
Mob trying to make something of himself without psychic powers, which is really... You can totally get behind him. It's like, yeah, you cheer him on.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to some of the other characters, like the telepathy club girl who really wants to see a psychic person, but not Mob. She doesn't really care about Mob being a
Mhm.
psychic.
Her goal is to use psychic people to contact aliens.
Yes, and we also have the journalism girl who really
Masato.
wants to like talk to Mob about his problems and stuff. Which I understand she's an important character later.
Okay, because I was about to say, like, I do have a note where it's like characters like Masato and Tsubomi, who's the girl that Mob crushes on, is like they don't do a lot. I hope they do more in season 2.
I read up some stuff on Wikipedia, and also I've read some of the manga. They left out a lot about them. There's other character traits that they left out.
Alright. Because I think we can all say in agreement, yeah, we're probably going to watch season 2.
Yeah. I
It's
can't
good.
lie.
I don't know when I'm going to watch it, but
It's going to be over.
I am not against
shortly.
watching season 2, so, you know.
We're 2 weeks away from it ending.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's got 13 episodes and it's coming up on episode 10, I believe.
I think 10 just aired.
10 just aired, so there's like
So
3
3
episodes.
weeks.
That's pretty good.
And it's not over yet, because it's not covering the entire manga. The manga's over. It's done.
Yeah.
So there might be a
It's
season
going up to
3.
the next point.
Might be season 3 in the works. Yeah. Okay, any thoughts? Any more?
I really enjoyed this show. The fights are just, they go hard on this. The characters are just very likable, especially Reagan.
Yeah.
He's just, he's the best, because he just exists to just be a good, quick talker who's just able to convince you that, yeah, he's totally right, and then he just cheap shots you.
I believe Reagan is just like the anime equivalent of Fallout New Vegas. If you have like Speech 100, there's like one guy that you can just, instead of fighting, talk to him and tell him why his strategy is just complete bullshit, and then he loses because you just have a high enough speech level. It's that in anime form.
He just is good at talking, and that's how he wins. That's how he gets by. It's the best.
So yeah, I want to do ratings now.
Yeah.
I want to say 8.5, maybe a 9. Honestly, for me, I think 8.5 only because it dips a little on episode 8.
I can't understate the horrible feelings that episode 8 made me feel. I'd probably give it 7.5 or an 8. I think the first couple episodes are weak, but if you get past that, it's a good show.
I really enjoyed it overall throughout, so I'm gonna say, I'm trying to think now, between 8 or 8.5.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think I'll go 8. Even.
All right.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, this was your pick, wasn't it?
You did it again, Connor. Yeah. Flexing on us with your good taste.
And I thought I wouldn't like it. I was ready to hate on this.
Yeah. I guess Showdown?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, this one is my turn. We have a bit of a shortened schedule. We've been uploading on a regular basis because we suck. Don't worry about that. Anyways, I am choosing an OVA movie, whatever. It's Dead Leaves.
I've heard of this one.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never.
It's from 2004, and it looks really good, at least animation-wise, so that was what caught my attention. It's an OVA. Apparently it's 55 minutes, but I was just interested enough to watch it. I mean, like, the animation that I've seen from screenshots looked really interesting, so I wanted to give it a shot.
All right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's all for this week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.